Greetings, my fellow travelers. I've added a little something to Soula Demetris, a row of A-frame houses for each and every member of the staff. These are inspired by the base that I discovered a few days back, and right now I'm rushing to the teleporter ring in a desperate bid to find the name, because, well, I just don't remember it. Azot men sea by Yamus Sibutus. Try to say that 3 times fast when it's not a language you're familiar with. Anyway, so inspired by his A-frames, which I'm not sure exactly how he or she did, but when I looked at them, I said, okay, let's try, instead of putting walls at an angle, put floors perpendicular to each other and make them triangles. So that would be the Vikan security guy. That would be the Gek farmer. That would be the Korvax scientist. That would be the Gek overseer. And that would be the Vikan mechanic, the garages. That one is not furnished yet. I just finished building it. Actually, not entirely true. I haven't done the oversized garage door in the back yet. And last but not least, a Colossus. And I lifted the bridge about the equivalent of 2 short walls up, and it passes. You have to be at least in the middle, a little bit to the left, but it passes. So, let's have a look at the outside. So, walls, but at a perpendicular angle to make, well, the walls. And what can I say? All right, so bar, so warriors can have gra-gra. It's somewhat austere and severe. Weapons rack, the traveler, because after all, we have to serve the living and worship the living, not the dead. Or so he says when he finishes his quest. Fireplace, because what's gra-gra without roaring fire, preferably with sentinel husks inside. And a very, very simple bed. For the Vikan warrior is a simple man. And don't think there was anything special in back. Just an overhang type thing on both sides. Then there's the Gek farmer. Now, this one was the first one I actually built, and I ran into considerable difficulty. The ground slopes up rather sharply towards the end, and I was anticipating having grass. So what I did is I offset the floor. So it's a split level, literally right here. Short wall up. That's there because there's a gap. And, well, wooden panels, wooden glass panels, the brand new little flower pots, lots of wood paneling again. And yes, it's a house with the smell of flowers. I haven't done anything with the left side planters yet, but yeah. And these new things, somehow the panel's not terribly transparent. There was supposed to be something there. Don't know what happened to it. All right, bed, single, because the Gek is small. More plant life, and the pyramid-shaped holders. And these were a nightmare because the grass there cannot be deleted. You delete the grass, you delete the planters. And unfortunately, with the other planters with plants in them, I didn't want to undo everything just to put the planter back. So the grass, which is almost invisible, remains. Uh, that one was literally too low, or sorry, too high to put a full-size plant, and too low to put grass. So a compromise of sort was reached. And yeah, right here, that was tricky. Was these wall panels? They actually don't match up with the inside. They match up with the outside. So they seal the gap, and also therefore this opening is ever so slightly wider. And some of these plants were the last plants I did for the farmer. All right, the Korvax dwelling. Now this one does have something in the back. After all, Korvax definitely wants to keep that science going. So a whole bunch of sensors, metal panels, these simple glass windows. And these guys are intriguing because they're not trees. They're not real. They're hollows. I blasted a hole in the ground, dropped the projector in, triggered the projection, replenished the ground, and for that guy, it really turned out spot on. This guy's ever so slightly out of the ground, and it's weird because you see him through the walls. All right, so ID, projector of who the resident is, scanner. It's austere, but in a very different way from the VCAN warrior. Electronic butler slash servant slash science assistant. Yes, the Gek farmer snuck in and brought in a couple of flowers. Oh, sorry, just one. Massive industrial grade servers with sort of impromptu shrine to the Atlas. And he's a Korvax, so absolute symmetry. System projectors. Interface for the data banks. Study workstations. Pocket universe. The Atlas slipped up and gave this Korvax insight into something he hasn't quite figured out yet. That would be Korvax Prime, and as would be the Korvax resting chamber. Fortunately, they don't have anything that could, like a Borg alcove, but it's closest I could do. And I don't quite remember how I managed to pull that off, but it was entertaining. I think I basically multiple times wire glitched it to the glass wall until the base actually hit the ground. And a bunch of lights. Now, this is the Gek Overseer, and as he's a Gek, a lot of wood. But as the fellow, the farmer, suggested he's not possibly a Gek, well, there's a fair bit of stone, and there's metal. And this one is the hint. The Overseer on every base is not a Gek, it's actually the Atlas. So it enshrines all three species. Now, obviously, some pretense of being a Gek is very important. So, lots of loot. Love that one. It gives me antimatter almost every time. Workstation for, what do we call them? These guys, Quicksilver, and for the units. So he's able to, check the market. Massive data bank for all those transactions. He wants receipts every time you do something. And pretending to be just a mortal being, he has, of course, a shrine to the Atlas. And as he is a being of frugality, it's but a single bed. Oh yeah, it's another market interface, personal storage, lots of lighting.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
Now, I initially put it the same angle as the other one, the far end, a little bit shallower, and a bit further back, and the foundations just kept on going forever. It was horrible. So I actually increased the angle, brought it a little bit closer to the hill. There's nothing inside. And sort of a reversal of what the other weekend did. The glass windows are near the floor. Little portals are up high. And unlike the other one, it does not extend past the rear end. But there is a modest extent past the front. Sorry, but with this storm, very hard to see anything. We're at my Soula Demetris base in Utopia Expedition. Face, bird, weather balloon, pyramid, fish, bird, swirl, shuttle, boat, tent, weather balloon. All right, let's get rid of all this weather. And hopefully that worked. All right, not exactly. And yeah, there's the incomplete garage. I'm took part of the ramp out, put continuation of the base, and I'm going to aim for the middle and wire glitch a garage door using the technique where you cache it, copy an object twice the size of its normal size, and then swap. And if I get it just right, it will fill in that space, and then I'll just put the floor panels back in place. Famous last words. And there's a battery and one solar panel in there just to cause that thing to be closed, because unfortunately it's hill. But at least it looks like, you know. And I will put the mechanics station in there. In fact, I'll do it right now. Wow, this weather is atrocious. It's the one thing that's annoying about this planet is this foggy, scalding rain. Very annoying.
Storm clearing.
Okay, no, I will not put the station for mechanic quite yet because, well, I don't have it. Because I haven't gone that far into the story. But, yeah, that's what I've been up to this week. It's a bit of a rough ride getting down, but I really didn't feel like, putting sloping panels and stuff. In the backside would become a nightmare very quickly. So yeah, there's a bit of a dip when you drive off. Fairly manageable. So yeah, 5 A-frames built exactly to the same recipe. 2 floor panels wide, 3 floor panels deep. wire glitch, triangular floor panels perpendicular to the floor, and wall panels off of those to act as, well, both wall and ceiling. And all a little bit different from each other. Oh yeah, I mentioned you see those on the inside, but I went by quickly enough, it might not have been noticeable. So, right there. It is so weird. It's so weird that you can see it through the walls. Now, you don't see the other building through the walls. You don't see the Colossus through the wall. It's just a weird effect. Sorry about that. It's getting close to my bedtime. And with those words, I leave you, my fellow travelers.